good.
Okay. Hey everybody, Doug Walsh here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Make sure if you like the video that you're seeing today that you hit subscribe, and if you hit that little bell button, it'll notify you for new videos. Today I have Zoom with me. You can also check out my different playlists on my YouTube channel. It goes over different horse journeys. You can follow them from the beginning to throughout their process of training. Kind of a really cool thing to watch the progression as we talk about the energy of our horses. So if you look at earlier videos of Zoom here, he came to us as a horse that was really super nervous. You know, the rider couldn't even get on, and if she accidentally touched him in any part of his body, he'd start bucking and just continue bucking because he was so afraid of things. So now you can see through a progression of training videos that we'll have up on his playlist, on Zoom's playlist, is that he's become pretty mellow now and pretty chill. It's taken a lot of time. We couldn't even go up to him with the saddle pad without him getting nervous and wanting to walk off or start to even get a little bucky. So we had to break it down to the ABCs and go through those. So now we have a horse. This is what we find when we have horses that come in that are really very nervous horses. Especially a performance horse like a dressage horse like him, is it's really important that he understands that we want to get power out of him, but not nervous power. We want to get power that's relaxed power, that he can still be in a good state of mind. So when we get him, this is how he is naturally, right? Most horses don't want to be exerting a lot of energy. And when we talk about forward in our horses, forward is very important, but the one thing that horses do very good is they can run. They usually go forward when they run. They don't usually run backwards or sideways, left or right. They go forward. And they usually run because they're afraid of something. So what we want to do is we want to find a good baseline where he's not going to be afraid. We don't want to use that nervous energy to our advantage. We want to create a positive energy and have it go up and then get him to want to do it. Now, so what I might have to do with him, because he's built a good relationship with Sam and myself, is that now he's kind of clingy to us. So if I want to get him to move, where before if I would put any energy on him, he would really lose his mind because he would take it as like someone was trying to hurt him. So now I want him to understand that the flag, say, means that this is an extension of my arm. So I can go around him with my energy, I can go next to him with the energy here, and there's no energy being applied towards him. There's no pressure being put on him right now. But if I pick up my lead hand, so I want two different things. This is my hand for my reins, and will be my leg. This will be my leg, this will be my hand. So if I want him to move off, and we talked about a horse being forward and light, is that I'm just going to put my hand up. If he doesn't go, I'll come in with my leg and ask him to move. That's all I want from him right now. So because he tends to want to draw in towards you and be right next to you all the time, is that we don't ever want to discourage him from wanting to be close to us, but I also want him to start to understand that when I put my hand up like this, it means that he moves over, right? So I put my hand up, want him to move over, good. So I'll ask him to walk around me. So if he wants to bring that, I'm going to bring my flag with energy, so I get a nice walk. If I bring my rope back up towards me, so if I bring it towards me like this, I don't want him, I want him to become a neutral position, right? So we have three meanings of our rope even. So if I put it out in front of me, I want him to take a step that way. So if he does it, I come in with my flag, ask him to step that way. Now if my rope drops down to neutral, he stops, okay? Then, if I pick up my rope, I want to walk with where I'm going. So if I pick up my rope to his right, he goes to the right. If I pick it up to the left, he goes to the left. So if he doesn't move, I'll come in with my flag at the shoulder and ask him. Now, we talk about how we use our tools, and I've got videos on how we use our tools. So if you look at a golfer is not going to go try and hit the ball 500 yards and do this with his golf club. He doesn't want to just do this. He needs to bring that club back, get all the energy from his core. He's going to use every part of his body to swing through, to have the energy through the club, not just through his elbows, but through his entire body to get that ball to go as far as possible. So when I want to use my flag, I don't want to do little energy, right? I want to do, if another horse is running at him, another horse is not going to zigzag towards him. So he's going to be going towards him with determination and energy to say, I need you to move. So if I ask him to move off the shoulder, if he doesn't, so he doesn't do it, I'm going to come sweeping energy. There, he moves off. Now if I want him to move forward more, I'm going to keep pressure on that shoulder because I want him to stay out there. Now if I want him to go to stay in that trot, I'll put energy to where my leg's gonna be, where my inside leg is gonna be, so he moves forward. Now my hand is up still, so I want him to go forward. I want to push him back out. I want to be able to put energy and push him back out. A month ago, if I would have done that, he would have lost his mind. So now if I drop my hand back down and just ask him to keep walking forward, he'll keep walking forward. So my hand is in a neutral position, but a neutral forward position. If I want him to go more forward, bring my hand up, flag goes where my leg would be, and ask him for the trot. I don't want him to fall in, and this is really important when we talk about our horses finding their own balance. So I want him just to go around. I don't want him to go fast. I want him to find his balance. So you can see he's out of balance right now. He's using his head to balance himself, so I'm going to push him back out. I want him to find that balance, right? Because this is an issue for him. And all young horses, right? And all sometimes older horses. It's not my job to balance him. It's my job to teach him how to become biomechanically correct where he finds his own balance. So I'm looking for, you can see there's no impulsion in him right now. He's running on the forehand and he's just running along. So what I want to do is I want to start to work with him, be able to push him out through that shoulder. So my intention of my flag is going to be the body part that I want him to move on. And so he's leaning like a motorcycle right now. His nose is out. So I want to work with him on finding his balance right there. You saw 3 or 4 steps where he all of a sudden slowed down, but he started to slightly tilt his head in towards me slightly. I'm going to let him walk for a second and ask him to face me now. So when I do an exercise like that, if you rewind this, the last 3 or 4 steps right here, he slowed down, he got impulsion, and he found his biomechanically correct position. He slightly was bent, the poll was equal, was parallel, the ears were parallel, the poll was slightly bent in, he was lined up, his nose was slightly bent in, his poll was over his shoulders, which then allowed him to bend at the rib cage, allowed him to step under with that inside hip, and then recirculate that energy through the withers, back up through the pole, and then back through itself again, which is why all of a sudden we got impulsion for 3 or 4 steps. So it's not about lunging your horse, it's really about finding how your horse moves and let them find that balance. So if I ask him now to do that again, see the hand goes up, flag comes in, big sweeping motions, he's moving, he wants to come towards me again, I'll put that energy right towards that shoulder, and I'll say, can we get biomechanically correct again? So he's running. You can see what I'm holding him with. I'm going to say, nope, I need you to keep out there. I want you to find your position. Slow down if you need to. Whatever side circle you need to do to find, because his head is his balance point right now. This is why we don't like to hold their heads in. Good, good. So we're starting to get a little bit of position here. I would like to have him slow down because I know that's what he needs. Trot. There we go. Still don't have it. Trot, trot. Then we ask again, trot. I want him to find this position. Because you can see very clearly in this video that he's just cruising around. If you're very watchful, you're going to understand that we want him to be using himself properly, and when he comes around towards the camera, you can see he's leaning in like a motorcycle. We want him to balance. So I want to just help him to find that balance. So I'm going to push him out a little bit, because I know it's really hard for him to balance that close, but he wants to be close to me, but that's not helping him find the balance. Trot, 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 trot. Find your balance. There, 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 there. And walk. Keep walking. So I'm going to be focused on that shoulder. Asking him to keep walking. Good. And just to stop. I want him to stop going straight right now, because I know he likes to turn in towards me. So he's on a 45, I'm okay with that. we have to start somewhere. But hopefully you saw just in that last trot circle that he wanted to be so close to me that I had to ask him and say it's okay to move out a little further. And then you saw those last couple circles, he was starting to slow down, get impulsion, be correct, not perfectly correct, but be biomechanically lined up. It's so important for our horses because they're so big and they're so long and they've got over 700 muscles in their body, and they've got a very interesting dynamic with how their spine comes down. You know, their neck, their vertebrae in their neck come down and then it goes back up, and it's just really odd for a horse. You understand how it is when they move, but like, so it's so important for us to know that their head is a big balance point for them. Just like if we're walking a balance beam or we're gonna walk on a tightrope, we're gonna start with a big stick or big long thing that's gonna help us balance so we don't fall over. So if we think about this, if I'm walking a tightrope, I got this big stick, and then I get to the point where I can just use my hands like this, and then I get to the point where I can stand here because my core strength is strong enough to be able to balance me, right? In yoga, it's the same thing. If you want to do this tree pose, whatever you want to do, most people when they first do this, they got to do this. When you get to the point where you can stand right here, and you're going to be balanced through your core. So same thing with him is that right now, that big head and that neck is responsible for 6% of his entire mass of his body. His head is extremely heavy, and that's the only way he can balance. So if we don't allow a horse to have their head when they start to work and use their body, if we try to pull it in, we try to do all these things, he's going to not be able to ever balance correctly because we need him to find that balance point and almost stretch forward and over his back in order to lift up through the withers and recirculate that energy properly. So you saw that in the last couple steps on there. So we keep working on this with Zoom, and this is a horse now it's getting fun to do this stuff because he doesn't worry anymore. So if I ask him to move off this way, I'm going to say, okay, are you listening? Are you listening? Kind of. So I'll come in with my energy, my flag, and I'll say, hey, I need to move that shoulder over. That's forward for me. I want a horse that when I do that, when I ask for the shoulder to move, and if I ask for trot, he goes in for the trot. And then now you see, I don't want to hold him at all. I want him to carry himself. Now if he comes in too close to me, but look, you're going to watch him start to slow down. I don't want him to come close to me because he's not going to be focused on me. He's going to be focused on being close to me, not focusing on the balance of himself. So I will slow down my voice and help him trot, trot. So then good. Because he reacted to my flag saying, ooh, I have to go forward. So trot, 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 trot. So he's getting very aware now of where my hand is, my leading hand. And if it comes back too far, he thinks it means stop. So I'm trying to just play with the pressure of slowing him down a little bit, finding his own balance. Good, 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 good. Trot, 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 trot. Looking for that head to soften, the neck to soften, the head slightly to the left or to the right, not too much. If I get too much, but you notice I'm not doing anything with my rope when it comes to pulling him in or out. Doing it all through my flag or my leg. Good. Look at the suspension difference now. Now we're starting to look like a dressage horse. I'll let him walk after that. Bring my hand back here, ask him to stop and face me, and then I'll ask him to draw in. I like a fun little cue. I've been teaching horses that I go. So my cue is going to be the whistle, but if he doesn't come, I'll ask with the rope, just some pressure. Good. Good. Good boy. So I hope you've enjoyed this. If you like this and you want to see more content on how to truly have a great partnership with your horse and help your horse understand how to use their own body. It's not our job to teach them to be a great performance horse. It's important that they understand how to use themselves starting from a young age. So make sure you hit the subscribe button if you like this and hit the bell, and it'll notify you of cool new videos and especially more journeys of what we have with our horses here. Have a great day, take care, and thanks for watching.